Hey, everybody, welcome to today's episode of Big, Beautiful Badasses. I have such a badass with me today. Trynette is a prime example of living unapologetically. And we're going to get into that in just a minute. But if you like what I'm doing, if you want to keep this going, please go over to buymeacoffee.com/ this fat girl life. You all already know I, I live on coffee. That is my life juice. It sustains me. Coffee keeps me out of jail. Coffee is everything for me. So if you go to buymeacoffee.com/ this fat girl life, you can follow me there at no charge and you can get all the updates of what I'm doing, my book, guests, all of that, because that's where I post first. But if you become a member for $5 a month, you also get my guided journals and all of that free of charge. That's included in your membership. You can't even buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks for that. So go to buymeacoffee.com/ this fat girl life. Trynette, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so excited for this conversation.
Thank you so much for inviting me on your platform. I'm excited to be here.
Of course. Now, we're going to talk today about living unapologetically. You know, in this fat girl life right here that I live, I see it all the time. We are expected to apologize for taking up too much space, for asking for a larger size of clothes, for asking for a better seat in a restaurant. Hell, we're expected to apologize for existing. But Trinette, like I said, is a prime example of how to live out loud and unapologetically. So, Trinette, before we really get into this, why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Trynette Lariba. I'm a registered nurse and I'm a native to South Florida. I still live in South Florida. I am a mom and I am a huge proponent for being healthy, curvy, and fit.
I love that. And I love that you brought up, being healthy and curvy because so many people make the assumption that to be healthy, you have to be like a size 2. And that is so not the case. You can be healthy at any size. So, I mean, is that something that as a plus size woman, you've come across like any negative pushback?
Um, so of course, the narrative in the US is all about weight. And so there is a lot of negative pushback on curvy fitness, period. That's something that has continually been there and more than likely will always be there because it's threaded through the narrative, not only through healthcare, but just in every industry, period. And so, what I find very interesting about that, I do get pushback, but I don't lose any sleep over it, and I really could care less. I just, I wouldn't give two tears in a bucket to that because I also know that a lot of that is about creating a consumer and creating a feeling of inferiority in women so that they can continually keep dangling a number above them for them to reach for. When if anybody ever takes the time to look up the definition of exercise, you will understand that every single body needs exercise, and it's so that you can be living effective and efficiently in your body. That is what exercise is, and it is not weight dependent.
I, I love that you said that. And I'm telling you right now, I am stealing that 2 tears in a bucket. That, I love that. I am so going to steal that from you. I'm just making that public right now.
Okay.
But I love the basic attitude you have. I mean, you are very unapologetic about it. And I absolutely love that. There's so much to learn from that because I think once we start hitting that spot where
Mhm.
we are not feeling inferior, where we are not feeling like we are in the wrong for
Mm-hmm.
existing.
Mm-hmm.
That changes the whole narrative. It changes the dynamic.
Yeah, it really does. But it's something that you have to want for yourself. And it's something that you have to personally, go on that journey to seek after, right? It takes a lot of internal work in order to do that self reflection, that self healing, and that self forgiveness, right? And you have to actually believe that you're valuable as a person, period, and that you're worthy as a person, period.
Mm.
And so there's no need for me to apologize for existing because I'm here on purpose and for a purpose. And so there's no need to not take up the space that I've been designated to take up because there's no one else that can do what I do, or else my voice would not be here. And so I have to live in authenticity and not being apologetic for who I am. I believe everyone has their own designated, print that they have to leave into the world. And I can't leave a print into the world if I'm sitting around conforming to the idiocy and the imbeciles that have created a narrative that is absolutely false.
God, like I'm loving this. I'm so loving this. Now, the person I'm looking at today,
Yes.
did she always exist throughout all your life? Were you always this confident and unapologetic?
So that's a really good question. So this person emerged. So actually I was involved. I think I told you I was involved in a flip over truck accident September 1st, 2016, and with my daughter. And so from that traumatic incident, I had time to sat down, like we like to say, go on, sat down and not be consumed in busyness. A lot of times, I won't speak for anybody else, just me. I was very busy doing the good things that I had time to neglect my own self and not be doing the inner work that I should have. And so when I was sat down, as we like to say, I said, I'm not moving, I'm not doing anything. I want to take this time to heal completely, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, all of the things. And I want to learn every lesson that there is to learn because I felt like I wasn't taken from here because it wasn't time. And if it wasn't time, then what more was I supposed to do? And that was to fully walk into my truth. And that was to open up my mouth and be who I was supposed to be, because when I was a younger child, I did not want this body that I was birthed into. I was always a voluptuous. I was a voluptuous baby. I was born with the hips and the butt. I came into the world with it, and so I had an adult body. Being a child, and it was not the cool thing back in the day. That
No.
was not the thing. You did not see that, and so I was always active, but it was just like, well, damn, it's like I can't get to where I'm supposed to get to trying to look like someone else. But that accident gave me the time to do all of the healing and the coming into myself that I needed to be. And I said, when I am on this journey, I'm going to do this thing 100% me, for me, so that I can show up fully as I am and touch the people who I'm supposed to touch. Because until I do my work and I am being me and accepting who I am, those who are designated to be transformed by my story and seeing me go through it, they can't get to the next level because I'm not at mine. And so I take it very seriously to, be on this mission and to be confident in who the heck I am. And it's a continual journey. I feel like healing is
Hmm.
continual, working on your confidence is continual, being fit, period. That it is a lifetime thing. And so that's what I take it as. But it goes very deeply, and it is a part of my inner being at this point in time.
Well, I love that you took an event that could have been tragic
Yes, ma'am.
and it was life changing. One way or another, it was going to change your life. But you decided that you were going to make it a positive change. So I absolutely love that. And that takes such strength of character on your part. So I think that's amazing.
Thank
So
you.
kudos right there. Now, going through this process though, because I know there are a lot of women that are not in that place yet. And that's okay because we all been there. Every
Hmm.
single one of us been there where we are not in that place. So what were some of the baby steps for you? What were some of the easier parts of it? Because it's not an easy journey. It's not an easy process. But what do you think was the easiest part of that?
Hmm. The easiest part, I would have to say, being aware and acknowledging that I needed to do the healing work. That would be the easiest thing, because until you get to that part in it, you're not going to even do anything else. So that's the first step, because we can't change what we don't see as a problem.
Yeah,
That would be the easiest thing, I would say, first. And then after that thing, the next thing that I did was to um do some soul searching. um you know I went digging in the Bible. Everybody doesn't have to do the Bible. That's not, that's not your thing. I'm not do you Everybody got prerogative. I'm big on that. But that's one of the things that I did, was to go and look and see as to what the creator said about who I was, and what was it that he said that obviously I wasn't living up to. And the next thing after that was I started writing out affirmations that affirmed who I believed that I was to become, and that who I believe existed, but I was not up to that level yet.
I love
I hope
that.
that answered.
Oh, that definitely does. I
Okay.
love that. One of the things that I know is hard, and so many of us end up having to search for it, is finding that support system.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you take those steps to be unapologetic,
Mm-hmm.
finding those people that are going to support you and back you up and inspire you and help lead the way, it's not always the people you think it should be. Was that the case with you, or where did you find your support?
Actually, I had support because even before the accident, I had been exercising and training. So I still had those people who were a part of my support system. My trainer was a part of my support system, and I had friends and family who were also a part of my support system. This is the thing, though, right? And I think this is where people kind of fall off. Is you have to understand how far or what the expectation can be for that person's level of support. You can't expect people to give you a higher level of support when they themselves, they don't work on themselves. They don't do personal development. They're not going, they haven't forgiven themselves for things. They're holding on to shame and guilt. You have to be realistic in the type of support they can give you. They can only give you what they have. And so I've always been big on this, just accepting what you can give. I know you can only do A. I'm only expecting A. And for those in the fitness community, of course, who are always, they're more, they were more developed and able to help me on a higher level, because that's what they're always working on. But you know, it was um it was always there, was always available. There were some people who fell off, right? There were some
Mm-hmm.
people who fell off who were because one of the things that's very interesting, and you probably know about this too, Kimberly, as you as you are healing, and as you're being supported, what I found is that those who were in the outer circle, who I thought that I had closer relationships with, fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they fell off because they were content and satisfied with who I was prior to, and not
Yep.
who I was transforming into. Okay, that's not the person that they wanted to befriend, and that's okay. I had to learn to accept that. And one of the things that I said in my affirmations was that I will connect to those who are able to handle who I'm becoming. That was one of my mantras, I guess you could say. And I definitely have connected with people who are on a higher vibe. People say a higher level, higher vibe, higher elevation. But most definitely, that happened. I'm sure you can understand
Oh,
that, Kimberly.
100%. 100%, girl.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I'm not even gonna lie. It sucks in that moment. Now I can look back and be like, you know what? They were there for a season. They were there for a time when I that's what I needed or wanted. But now I'm in this place and this isn't their season. So looking back, hindsight's 2020. And we all know that.
Yes.
But in that very moment,
Uh-huh.
when you realize these people are not meant for your future,
Hmm.
God, that sucks. That's
You
the only
know,
way I can say it.
yeah, it did suck a little bit, but not as much as I thought it would. Um, to be honest, some of those people I knew I should have broken away from prior to that time.
True.
So
True. And
it
I've
was
had those
like,
too.
oh goodness gracious! I just thank you so much for disappearing. I mean, that helped me. That helped me. Because at that time, you know, my boundaries weren't as firm, right? Uh,
Hmm.
so it helped me, like thank you for leaving, because I really should have before, but I didn't.
And those boundaries, when you are finally able to establish boundaries, because that is not something that I know I wasn't taught that as a small child.
Right,
That's not something that we learn. Now, children now are being taught some of that, but still not to the extent they should.
right.
They're taught how to set them, but not how to enforce them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you get to that point where you can unapologetically enforce a boundary, whew, there are not enough words to describe that feeling.
Absolutely.
Mm,
It is true liberation.
it is. It
It is
is.
true liberation. And freedom is a big part um of how I love feeling, how I love being, how I love doing, and what I love offering to other women. When you are free from, the thoughts of others, free from caring about what's going to be said or not said, whew, the freedom, it feels
Hmm.
so good not to give a damn. Okay,
It really does.
it feels
Oh God.
wonderful. And this is the thing, because people ask me all the time, I don't know how it is that you do what you do and you just don't care. Like, one of my friends calls me Team Unbothered. And the reason is because I know that the boundaries that I have are rooted in love. And I know that these boundaries are so that I can stay protected, that I can preserve myself, and so that I can continue to give from a place of overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I don't need anyone to agree to them. I don't need anybody to validate them. I don't need anybody else to co-sign them because I have said it and that is it and it is done and I am well.
Yep. 100%. And I love that feeling. I love that feeling. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm turning 46 here in a couple weeks. I still struggle with some areas of boundaries. None of us have arrived where we are 100% of the time. But when I look at where I am now compared to where I was even 5, 6 years ago, the difference is astounding because I've reached that point where I can set a boundary, and I've reached that point where I can look at somebody and say, you know what, I really don't give a fuck.
That's correct.
I don't care. And just knowing that I can say those words and I don't really care if it hurts your feelings because this is what I need in this moment. There's just that sigh of relief of I'm content.
That's right.
You need to fix you. I'm good. And I love it. I mean, that's just the only way to describe it. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, we just had the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, especially for, big girls, even big men, that can be a trying time, because you are going to, the different family meals. Now, I really didn't attend a whole lot this year because COVID hit me in November and it kicked my butt. So
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving consisted of me and my husband. That was it. So it's not something that, was even a factor for me. But I saw so many posts in some of the groups that I am part of women that were just torn apart emotionally and mentally because of having those large gatherings and getting those side glances
Mm-hmm.
when they go to eat something and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to women in that position?
Eat what you're gonna eat and keep it pushing. Really. Eat what you're going to eat and keep it pushing. If you're still tore up about that, then that means you still haven't worked on yourself. That means you still are not secure in you. Because I eat what I want to eat, and I keep it moving. People make assumptions about what I put in my mouth, or try to decide how much I should put in my mouth, or which table I should eat at, and this, that, and the next. Like I said, I can't worry myself about what you're worried about, because more than likely, if you're worried about that for me, you're worried about that for you as well. More than likely, you're not securing yourself either. More than likely, me living free and eating what I want to eat when I want to eat it is something that you desire for yourself, but you're so imprisoned by what these other folk are saying. And more than likely, is other women who always trying to sit up here and police what other women put in their mouth 24 doggone
Mm-hmm.
7 because they are not free themselves. Honey, live in your prison and be happy in your prison. I'm living free. And I, invite you all to also deprogram yourself from worrying about what the next person is saying about what's on your plate. Eat what you're going to eat. When you're ready to do something different, you will. And if you don't, you won't. I mean, it's your prerogative. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do what I'm going to do. I don't worry about holidays, this day, that day, whatever day. I'm free to do what I feel like when I want to, and that's on that. Period.
And see, for me, I mean, I've been big my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
as far back as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that, anybody's ever actually said anything or thought anything. But I know for me, it was my own paranoia a lot of the
Mm,
time. Of they're looking at me, what are they thinking? Are they judging me? But and I would, limit what I would eat in front of others.
mm,
But the problem with that is you limit that, and then when you're alone, you binge.
I see.
And it really causes a disordered eating pattern
I
that
would see
is
that.
so, so bad for you. And it did, take me getting to that point where you're out of, I'm going to eat what I want to eat. Like, we went out to Vegas last year, and both times that we've been out there's a restaurant called Heart Attack Grill.
Oh
Ain't
wow.
nothing they serve healthy. They don't have vegetables. Like, it is bad. It is not healthy for you if you are trying to be on, a healthy food kick. Do not go there. But my God, their chili cheese fries are amazing.
Uh,
And the first time we went, I remember, kind of like, should I really eat like this in front of other people? The second time we went, though, I'm like, no, I want this, I want this, I want this, and let's throw this up on the side,
mm,
and I just enjoyed the meal, because that's part of why we eat food. Not only is it to sustain us, but if you do not enjoy what you're eating,
mm-hmm.
you're not going to continue eating it, one, but it's going to cause other issues
Right.
that you really need to look at.
Right.
And so I finally have reached that point where I'm eating things simply because I enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I eat like I ate at Heart Attack Grill every day of my life? God, no, it would kill me. Straight up. But being able to just enjoy what I was eating, again, there was that feeling of liberation, that
Mm-hmm.
feeling of freedom that came with it. And I think the next day, like, I had a salad because, I felt, a little bloated after that meal and didn't eat anything else the rest of the day. And the next day, I'm like, you know what? I gotta get some green in me. And I ate a salad that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it comes down to that enjoyment and that unapologetic aspect of it, of just doing it and not really caring what somebody else thought. And I so wish I could see so many other women doing that. It kills me when I see a woman not do that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it's all about choices too. It's all about choices. And one thing I will not, I'm not gonna fight anybody to make a different choice, because you're not going to do anything unless it's something that you want to do. And so, that's how it goes. Because if I didn't want to heal or forgive myself or go through the journey, I didn't have to. I
Yeah.
really didn't. And so, it's all about our choices, what we decide, who we want to become, because our minds are very powerful, and you have the power to direct it however you want it to be. You have that power.
So let's change topic real quick. Talk to
Go
me
ahead.
about Curvy Fit. What is Curvy Fit?
So being curvy fit is, you see those ladies in the back on the paintings?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so curvy fit is it's about a specific body type. That's what I call curvy. I know people have many different definitions of curvy. Some call them bottom heavy. Some, I call it curvy with protruding hips and butt. right? And that comes on different body types, so, body sizes. So you can be curvaceous at a size 30, you could be curvaceous at a size 2. Because no matter where my weight goes, I'm still going to have the same body type. And being fit means that um, I'm healthy and everything is working effectively and efficiently. And it means I'm also doing the most that I can do in my workouts, right? And it means that I'm going as hard as I can and I am being fit in all areas of my life. But through the fitness is how we remain healthy. So that is Curvy Fit. I believe and know, because I walk around with it, that it happens simultaneously. And I've had to educate other healthcare workers. Like I said, I'm a registered nurse, and so I've had to educate them as well as my doctors on what that means. So yeah. Mhm.
So now, what is your website?
So my website is curvyfitchicks.com.
Chicks. I
Curvy Fit
forgot the
Chicks.
chicks part. So, y'all, I'm putting that website on the screen right now. Go to the website. You have merchandise on there.
I do.
And I checked out some of the other stuff. There's some amazing pictures of you on there.
Thank
Now, do
you.
you offer online courses?
I'm actually launching my first course this year. So
See, y'all.
I will definitely let you know. I'm very excited about it. My goal is by summer to release this course, and it'll be around putting yourself as a priority.
Love that.
So I'm
So,
very excited about it. I also offer consults as well. So for those who are, ready to transition, and they may have different health challenges, I understand that. So I am a nurse, so of course, I do care plans that get you from point A to point B, sort of thing. And I've helped women who have you know, injuries from knees to hips to ankles and whatnot. Because I'm all about you doing the most that you can do. You're not comparing yourself to anyone else. You're doing what your body can do. When you're doing that, that means you're doing your best. And each time you will become better. But we're in no race. You're with yourself your whole life. Okay. So you have your whole life to continue to be your best.
I love that. Well, you guys definitely go check out curvyfitchicks.com. Look at the merch. She has some cute merch. That booty shirt. I'm loving that booty shirt. Just gonna say, y'all go check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Trina, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I have one final question for you, and
Okay.
I ask this of every guest that comes on my show.
Okay.
If you could give one piece of advice to a young woman who is struggling with who they are as a plus size woman, what would it be?
One piece of advice. I would say to accept who you are. This is very important that you accept who you are because who you are is lovely. Who you are is worthy. Who you are is love. Who you are is necessary. Plus size is just that, it's a size. If they tell us tomorrow that there's no more plus size, there's no more plus size. You'll just be a woman at that size. So just accept who you are and embrace who you are and know that, you can be whoever you want at any time you want to. And there's nothing wrong. You are enough.
I love that. Well, again, I want to thank you for coming on. You guys, I will be back next week with another amazing guest. Make sure you check out curvyfitchicks.com. Show Trynette some love. And I will see y'all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.